Hello and welcome to Tempo Check, baby. What's going on? I'm your host, Cathryn Niker.
What's up, everybody? I'm your other host, Freddie Rivas. Welcome to Tempo Check, baby. This is our first Tempo Check in the new year, or is it our second?
No, this is our second.
Well, happy 2026 one more time, brother.
It's insane.
This app's gonna be all about the Tempo schedule release. So, as we're waiting for more and more news, we got a lot of additional Tempo content coming for you. We're kind of like working through how we got here, but as we've said from the beginning, when something of significance happens, we're gonna jump right into the current timeline. So yeah, this pod's going to be coming out on the 30th. It's the 29th, and we're talking about the schedule release.
Yes, and while we're here, please remember to like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Leave a positive review if you get the chance. Follow us at the Pickup WNBA Pod on your social medias. As we say, Instagram, YouTube, those are the ones we focus on the most. And we appreciate you. But yes, Freddie, we were really excited to see some scheduling news. We didn't think we would even see a schedule before
Yeah,
CBA agreement. So that's wild. But also, we talked about this on the pickup last week about how this has given us a reason for optimism that they would release a schedule before having the CBA agreement announced because it just feels odd to have a schedule without one. So we're thinking like, okay, things are moving in the right direction at least.
certainly feels like it. If you are a Torontonian who's like, what's going on with the WNBA? What's going on with the CBA? There's no answers for you, but we can tell you that the first ever Tempo game is going to be a home game. It's going to be against the Mystics. It's going to be on Friday, May 8th. So
Mhm.
we have a
Versus our Canadian, Ali Edwards
yeah, and one of the only players who we know for sure will be where they
on
say
that
they're going to
team.
be because of she's on a rookie contract. But yeah, so we have games, right? We have games, we have a schedule, and we have some details. Like we know when the All-Star game is going to be. We have an outline of the season for those completely new to the flow of the WNBA. There's 44 games in the current WNBA schedule. It's been growing the past couple years. I think when this new CBA comes out, it's going to continue to grow. But this is telling me that this year, anyways, is going to be 44 games, which for most teams would mean 22 home games. Not the case for the Tempo. Um, Tempo fans will not have that many home games. Looks like, sorry, they have home games, but Toronto games, there's going to be 18. That's going to be 18.
And why is that?
That's because they're Canada's team. And there's 2 games in Montreal. There's 2 games in Vancouver. So the Montreal games are in July 10th and July 12th against
They're getting
the
some good games
good
too,
games.
man.
Alice Wings and the New York Liberty, which is massive. And then also some pretty huge games for Vancouver as well. Vancouver is getting Portland, so it's
Mhm,
a nice little expansion battle there. And then they're
mhm.
getting the returning champions, Las Vegas Aces,
They're getting the aces, baby.
August 23rd and August 21st. So some huge games for Vancouver and for Montreal. I'm really excited to see like what that's going to be like for the players, for the fans, and honestly for the country.
Yeah, I feel like I'm only slightly sad that we might only see the aces once this year as a
Mhm.
result, but regardless of that, yes, it is very exciting, and it's also like I wanted to do this like, oh, like which teams are the ones we're most excited to see, but because we have 2 expansion drafts coming up, a massive, colossal free agency coming up, and then we have, the actual draft itself. Who knows who's going to be on what team? We know that people who are still on their rookie contracts, Caitlin Clark, Angel Reese, Paige Beckers, talked about Aaliyah Edwards, and so on. Those players are going to be where they are. I have a strong feeling that the Aces are gonna run it back because they are a dynasty.
Mhm.
I feel like the Liberty, we've talked about this, maybe on shakier ground. We've got their coach, we got Brondello, and, maybe, I remember you predicted that maybe Jonquel Jones would be on the move, which I thought was a very interesting prediction. Minnesota's also a team that I think could run it back. I think, aside from, having championship hopes and having multiple runs recently, I feel like that group is really strong, like emotionally and otherwise, if that makes sense.
Mhm.
So I feel like, Indiana, Vegas, you know, those are teams I see being, at running it back more than most.
Yeah. No, I think it's fun to think about, and I'm mostly with you. I don't the league's gonna be in flux, and
Mhm.
I don't anticipate that the majority of teams are gonna be very recognizable. I would throw in the Valkyrie as maybe a team that might look a little similar to
Oh,
what they looked like
interesting.
last year just because of their kind of, like, steady build, although, they got a lot of money to throw around, so we'll see who they net. One thing I really wanna kind of flag for Tempo fans is something that, we'll be talking about forever and is a big part of the Tempo story in general, which is the initial whatever, botch job of, like, of MLSE not, going in on the bid, right, because of Rogers.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then Tenenbaum and the Kilmer Group kinda saving the day. And much like the Blue Jays and the Toronto Raptors, slowly but surely, they've sort of been brought in by Rogers. What I was not expecting is for there to be signs of that in the, like, schedule release. So what we have here is 3 games, uh, already, and that I'm saying already for a reason, at Scotiabank. 3 games listed at Scotiabank. So, it's Phoenix Mercury, June 27th, Indiana Fever, August 18th, and we have the Minnesota Lynx, July 30th. So, like, I'll tell you this, September, end of the season, there's a Indiana game that's, on a Friday that is gonna get transferred to Scotiabank, straight up.
Oh, I see, yeah.
And then you got September the 20th, the Liberty on a Sunday, that's going to Scotiabank too. And,
Oh, interesting.
maybe it's a thing where it's like there's already something there and it won't happen, but I just think if there's money to be made, the money will be made, and, that's like Caitlin Clark herself kind of like, is this like own like she's a machine. So like she barely like for places like Dallas or Washington or whatever that have like small arenas, like because if I'm not mistaken, the Tempo Coca-Cola Coliseum is going to be either the second or third smallest capacity arena in the league. So it's very, very small.
Yeah, but, we've predicted that they're gonna grow out of it, and I think we already see signs of that here, like you just pointed out.
Yeah, yeah, right. So, and I think all the games are gonna sell out, and I think that other games that we can't even like name right now are going to get transferred to Scotiabank. Like I think any game that can will be. So, like of the 18 home games right now, 15 of them are at Coca-Cola Coliseum. I wouldn't be surprised if like that ends up being like 10.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too because I remember doing a bit of a deep dive when, when the MLSE group initially backed out and they talked about they were kind of using like stadium access as a bit of an excuse. And
Mhm.
I went onto the Scotiabank Arena website, looked at what their summer schedule was, and it wasn't busy at all. Like they had months where like July, August, where almost nothing
Yeah.
was happening. September, May, those were busier months. But June, July, and August were so empty, which is shocking for an arena of that size. So not only do I think they're gonna get moved, but I think they're probably low key planning the availability to be there as they concert schedule and so on and so on. I mean, obviously some things are you're gonna have some conflicts, but I think they're likely planning ahead because they have the space to do so. And why wouldn't you want to make
Mhm.
more money, especially in Toronto in the summer when the city
Yeah.
just comes alive? So yeah, I agree. And as season ticket holders, I wonder how this will impact us. So we haven't talked
Definitely.
about this, that Freddie and I are season ticket holders with a group of people, but also we've had media access to various press conferences, and we are hoping to also have media access to games. We did have media access to the game that was in Toronto back in 2023. So we might be dancing between our own tickets,
Mhm.
media access, trading off different games. That's really what's getting me excited. Because even like looking at this, I'm like, oh, I wonder if I can make a trip to Montreal that weekend and catch Dallas and New York. That would be huge if I could pull that off.
Yeah, hang out for laughs.
Well, it's a bit before Just for Laughs, though.
It is a bit before just for laughs,
So
but
I'd have to be hanging around Montreal for like a while. But Montreal's a beautiful city.
it's
If
amazing.
if my dog can handle it, then I can pull it off.
Zelda is a Montreal dog through and through.
Yeah, maybe I'll get an Airbnb and I'll bring her.
Oh, I like that.
Ooh, oh my god. And now I'm just that girl, that single girl traveling with my dog,
Yeah, you just
you know?
oh, and then the other thing. I mean, the only the thing I feel like is really important to talk about here is, uh, there's going to be a FIBA Women's World Cup break. So
Mhm.
that's in the middle of the season or sort of near the end, and
Towards the end, it's like the first
it
few weeks of September.
right, and it's a big break, right? So
Yeah,
like
it's August 30th to September 16th.
so essentially after that break, there's only going to be 4 games left. So it's a
It's a
bit of
quick
an
turnaround for the players. They
yeah,
get no time off.
yeah, like the last day of the FIBA tournament is September 16th, and the first game back is Friday the 18th. So again, you think about a player like Caitlin Clark, who's going to be playing for Team USA for sure, and she's going to be like the Team USA is going to be in the finals, right? So she'll be playing there, and then 2 days later playing in Toronto. So
Let's
that's
go.
interesting. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm excited.
Me too. We have a schedule. We got a schedule.
I'm excited for both the schedule and frankly for sunnier days.
Me too.
We've been walking in, 2 plus feet of snow. My dog's not even that tall. The
My my
snow is as tall as the dog.
my house is covered in ice. Water's leaking into my house. I don't
Oh,
like ice. The group of people who are kidnapping people.
yep, there's that too.
So just sunnier days, please.
Sunnier days. Okay, I have a quick story about the storm since this is so Toronto centric, this podcast.
Sure.
So I live in an area, Toronto's very flat, but I actually live in an area where there's some solid hills.
Mhm.
And there were a lot of cars that were struggling to get up this hill. I saw one car get stuck. I actually helped a guy get out. Like I literally took a neighbor's shovel and I helped this guy. And then somebody else came as well. So like the two of us like helped this guy get out as I'm walking the dog. Then, I continue to walk my dog and I see another car get stuck in the same spot. And I thought, and this is like 10:30 at night. And I'm like, this is getting ridiculous. I brought my dog back upstairs to the apartment. went downstairs on my own, grabbed the neighbor's shovel, and I just started shoveling the road. I shoveled the road for the first time in my life. I've shoveled a driveway, but I've never shoveled the road because I was like, I can't just know that every single car that passes this corner is getting stuck.
Good for you.
Thank you. And then I put this on my Insta stories, but while I was shoveling the road, I saw a group of teenagers in what I assume is their parents' SUV. And there was a kid on a toboggan that was tied to the SUV.
That's good shit.
And then the kid was like popping out of the sunroof and was like filming it. And they were laughing hysterically as they went by me on like this cross street, not where I was shoveling exactly. And I was just like, that's amazing. That's the way to be a teenager, honestly.
Go get them, teens. So dangerous, so crazy. We love it.
Anyways, let's wrap it up there. Thank you everyone so much for listening and tuning in. Please remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. And remember, weekly episodes of The Pickup are here. Both episodes are coming out on the Friday. So check them both out. And thanks again. And we'll catch you next time.
Yeah. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Peace.